Welcome, NBA fans. My name is Brandon, and here with me is Brian from Unrivaled Multimedia, and we are here to break down the 2016 NBA playoffs, round two. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing a lot better than my Mavericks are, so that's one good thing for me, I guess.
Absolutely. And that actually reminds me, we're going to be doing two separate videos today, Unrivaled Multimedia and Brandon Condron TV, breaking down the NBA playoffs. And this is the Eastern Conference discussion, if you will, Q&A. And let's get it started. Let's talk about what everyone is talking about. Raptors, Pacers, 7-game series. Absolutely crazy. Brian, let's just keep it simple. Like I said, what are your initial thoughts on this entire series?
This series was, I think, just a team that played to lose in the Raptors. They were out there in that game 7 just sweating bullets. Series, as far as it goes, it was back and forth. It was just a lot of action, but I just really enjoyed Paul George for the most part in this series. A lot of his big plays. Also for the Raptors, DeMar DeRozan, he did come up big in game 7. Kyle Lowry also made some big shots in game 7. This series, like I said, back and forth. I thought the Raptors were going to win this series easily, but the Raptors are coached by Frank Vogel. I'm sorry, the Pacers are coached by Frank Vogel. Really a good coach, and I think that he really got this team to play above their heads, especially with a lot of the injuries they had during the season. But they came together at playoff time, and kudos to them as a 7th seed pushing the Raptors to a game 7.
Absolutely. And everybody on both teams played their hearts out. And guys, that's basically what we're going to be doing here. We're just going to be breaking down each series, giving our thoughts. Brian here is a passionate sports fan. I love watching his videos. Please check out his channel, and we will get to those links a little bit later in the video. As for me, I watched most of these games. Game 7 was interesting in the first half, like I was discussing with you earlier. First half, it was back and forth. It was very entertaining. Third quarter, something happened to the Pacers. They just stopped playing, as you said.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, Paul George, I don't know if he just took the quarter off or his brain was on the sideline or something, because I thought that the Raptors of third quarter were primed for the picking because it was very close in the first half. And, yeah, I thought that was the difference in this game. It was just too many points starting the fourth quarter. They were down by 14 for the Pacers to come back and win that game.
Yeah, so it was really intense, though, at the end of the game. Solomon Hill had that huge dunk. I was actually kind of surprised. And it was just playoff basketball. That is what I love about the NBA playoffs. So if you don't have anything really else to say, I mean, that kind of just breaks it down right there. It was both teams fought till the end. And by the way, if you fans did not know out there, the Toronto Raptors won their first series since 2001. Which is absolutely crazy. Yeah. They've never won a 7-game series. And I mentioned this to you earlier. It's just the Raptors had to win this serise. Or it would have been a rebuild. I mean, last year do you remember when they were swept by the Wizards last year?
Yeah. I thought that Dwayne Casey's job was on the line last year, but they brought him back. I mean, if he had lost this game, I think he's definitely fired. And that the Raptors are rebuilding with Drake as the new coach.
And it's just one of those things with me personally. When they got swept, I was like, what happened to the Raptors? It was just one of those things. I was like, what happened?
It makes no sense. I mean, that team has a lot of talent. They, drafted well. It makes no sense that team doesn't seem to know how to close out teams better and, be more formidable opponent in the East.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, with that being said, the Raptors will face the Heat. Miami Heat are coming off a very exhausting series against the Charlotte Hornets. And I just have one thing to say real quick. I'm so proud of the Hornets, despite Game 6 and 7. This is a young team that's been building towards the playoffs. They have I love their coach, Steve Clifford. Again, that series was really crazy, brought the NBA playoffs. So I'm going to go back to my go-to question. What did you think, man, of the Hornets Heat series?
Yeah. What you said about Steve Clifford, those guys like Kemba Walker, Jeremy Lin really played big in this series. Frank Kaminsky, who I really like as a rookie. He showed up actually as the only player showed up in Game 7, which was really odd as a rookie. But overall, I thought that was a really good series. And I did not think the Hornets were going to be able to go to a Game 7. I wish they would feature, honestly, Al Jefferson a little bit more in the post and give him the ball more, because I think he's one of the best post players in the NBA. one of arguably the most underrated players in the NBA.
Yeah, he's really good. And I love what you said about Frank Kaminsky. This was a guy who you can argue had a debatable good rookie year, but he's been around. He's been playing well. He did good in the playoffs. I think he started a few games, if not all the games, for the Hornets. I could be wrong on that, though.
Yeah, I think he started. I know he got started game 7 with Zeller.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's the only player that was really out there rebounding. I don't know what happened to Al Jefferson in his rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
I was really disappointed in that because he, you know, normally gets you a double-double. And that he just didn't show up in game 6 and 7. And, you know, Courtney Lee's another player. He really showed up in this series and played a lot of big minutes for them and hit that big shot in game 5 to win, you know, at Miami. I thought, you know, they were going to win game 6, but I guess Dwayne Wade, you know, coming up big in game 6 is the reason that, you know, the Heat are moving on.
That was a great game, too. And it's also the fact that the Hornets were at home in game 6. So the pressure was on. They should have won, and they didn't.
It was too much pressure, I think, for that young team.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, I don't really know how I feel about it, but if you want to tackle the whole Dwayne Wade game 6 foul, I saw it. I was like, oh, that just happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that it seems that Dwayne Wade gets put in more fouls in critical situations than ever. I mean, me as a Mavericks fan in 2006, we don't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, he seems to get away with a lot of those, and it's just like, oh, the referee just got blind for a second. You know, he just didn't know where the foul or not. You know, I mean, that was just a clear foul, and I just don't understand how you know, he seems to always get those situations that he's the guy who's innocent.
And if you guys did not know, Brian is from Dallas, lives in Dallas, and is a huge Mavericks fan. So again, I highly recommend that you guys check out our future video, which will be the Western Conference playoffs, because I might have to bother Brian. Yeah, I might have to bother Brian on some Mavericks talk, as the Mavericks were.
If you're a Mavericks fan, don't watch.
Yeah, Mavericks were an early playoff exit this year as they lost to the Thunder. Yeah. But we're going to continue on. And Brian, this next series, I basically said it for me. I'm a huge basketball fan, as most of my subscribers know. But I really don't have too much to say about the Cavs and Hawks. I don't know about you. Like I said, LeBron James plays really, really well against the Hawks. The Hawks have a nice team. They're not what they were last year, though. So if you want to try to tackle this, go for it.
I expect it to be another series where, honestly, the Cavs will sweep. They just do not have really any players that are LeBron James. And also, what are you going to do with Kyrie Irving looking just spectacular so far in the playoffs? And also, Kevin Love is healthy. I think a lot of people forget that. He was not healthy last time they played last year in the playoffs.
He got hurt.
It just doesn't look like it's a good matchup. Al Horford doesn't see the same as he was last year. Paul Millsap has been fantastic, but besides Paul Millsap, I really don't think they have any other offensive firepower that can match the Cavs in that series. It's just going to be a very, I think, one-sided series. But, you know, strange things have happened, you know. We didn't think that the Hornets could, you know, push the Heat to 7 games. So maybe the Hawks can somehow, you know, muster up a couple of wins in this series.
Absolutely. And so you said that you think the Cavs will sweep the Hawks. For me, I think 5 games at max, so basically a sweep if you think about it. Yeah. And as far as the Heat and Raptors, I don't know if I know how many games it's going to go into as far as the series, but what I think is that both teams are going to be pretty dang tired.
Yes, that game 1 is going to be a lot of ice packs.
Yeah, and that's where I look at it like this could possibly be a 7-game series. The Heat have more experience, but the Toronto Raptors are riding on that momentum, but they're going to be tired. So I look at it like it could be a 7-game series, but both teams are going to be super tired. What about you?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I think this is going to go 6 or 7 games. First game is just going to be, you know, just a free-for-all. Who knows who's going to win that? But I think it's going to go a lot back and forth, and I think it's going to come down to who plays better battle, DeMar DeRozan versus Dwayne Wade matchup, you know. And as far as down low, Hassan Whiteside, if he has a big series, I think they win. That's the key for the Heat winning that series.
Absolutely. And guys, that is basically it for our Eastern Conference Q&A, NBA Playoffs 2016. Guys, please go follow Brian at both of his Twitter links. Check out his channel. All that will be in the link in the description below. It's at Unrivaled Multimedia. Brian, if you want to touch a little bit more on that.
Yeah, you definitely follow me on and subscribe on YouTube to Unrivaled Multimedia. Also, you catch me on Twitter at crunch_TYME. So yeah, if you're a fan of Twitter and all unfunny jokes I'll be telling, check me out there.
And again, if you guys are just a fan of sports in general, like football and a few other sports, Brian does make videos about that. I highly recommend his channel. Again, the links will be down in the description. My name is Brandon. I'm a huge basketball fan. Please check out our Western Conference Playoffs 2016 Q&A. That will be the next video. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.